It's not completely yours. Ger v'toshavata. We have both elements in it. And this would well be worth what Avraham Avinu is telling to Bnei Chet. In general, look, Sarah's dead. No human is forever toshav. Ger v'toshav anochi. I'm a ger and a toshav, and you also ger v'toshav. It could well be that that's the message he's given. Anyway, watch this. Tenuli achuzat kever imachem ve'ekbera metim elfanai. Give me an achuzah. Anybody want to try to translate that word achuzah?
A percentage?
That's a man hiba achuz. No, yeah. Well, it comes about lachzik, chozek. You're right. Achuz in modern Hebrew is a percentage. But in general speaking, when you think achuzah, yeshli achuzah ba'aretz, I have a piece of land. It's mine, achuz. And ochez bazeh. I'm holding it. Okay? So what is nuli achuzat kever imachem ve'ekbera metim elfanai? So just keep in mind that terminology is funny. Give me a piece of land that is mine. Watch what they say. Which is fascinating. Just right here. Shma'enu Adoni. Let's see what you can have any piece of land you want for Kavua. Nobody's going to stop you. What's the one word they don't use?
Achuzah.
Achuzah. Is there a subliminal discussion between Avraham Avinu and the Bnei Chet? Avraham says, I want to have a piece of land that is my achuzah and yochez bazeh. It's going to be mine. And they say, look. You can have a land anywhere you want. Nobody's going to stop you. But achuzah, not my land. You may bury it there, but ataloches bazeh. En lecha achuzah bazeh. Watch this. Fascinating to see this. ויקם אברהם וישתח במארץ וידבר איתם אם יש לנו לקרוא מתים לפניי שמעוני בעפרון מלך. Am I going too fast? Please? I meant Pasuk Tet. Watch this. Now I'm going to, so they offer that, and Abraham takes a bomb. ויתן לי מערת המכפלה אשר לא בקצה שדהו בכסף מלא יתנהל בתוכם. What? What's the word?
Le'achuzat kever.
Le'achuzat kever. Again, watch this different. What goes on here? He said achuzah. They say you can have anything you want. Now he goes on and says, I want Ephron to give me achuzat kever. Watch this. Ephron, okay, let's go Yud Aleph. That's Ephron's response. Lo Adoni, shma'eni, hasadeh natati lach, v'amara shel b'natatia, le'nei kol b'nei ami, k'mo metecha. What word does he miss?
Achuzah.
He still says, I am willing to give you the land for free. But achuzah, don't give me achuzah. Now, this interesting thing happens here. Watch this now. Now, whenever you have a discussion, I say it's blue. When you say it's green, you say it's blue. It's any kind of negotiations. You can go to a certain position. You know what? Let's leave one word out and make the negotiations. A classical case was that in the Oslo agreements. Let's leave Jerusalem out. Is it Israeli? Is it Palestinian? Let's leave that out. We'll make everything else go. We'll have area A, area B, area C. Leave one word out. Don't say it's yes and don't say it's no. Now watch what's happening. He keeps saying achuzah. They keep saying no achuzah. How are you going to be able to connect this whole thing? Watch this. Well, one possibility is if I really pay you for it, I have a certain level of achuzah. If you give it to me for free, it's a matana. Now watch what Abraham is doing here. Beautiful to see this. Vayishma Avraham el Ephron. Vayishma means he understands something about this Ephron. Vayishkol Avraham le'Ephron et hakesef. 400 shekel kesef ber lasofer. That's a tremendous amount of money. Okay, so far so good? Everybody's with me? Yud Zayin. Vayakam sde Ephron asher b'machpelah v'amara la'Avraham. Okay. Yutet. Everybody with me? ואחרי כן קבר הרב בצרה אשתו אומרת המפרעה על פני ממרא היא חברון בארץ כנען. כף. Who wants to read פסוק כף?
I'll read it.
Go.
ויקום השדה והמערה אשר בו לאברהם לאחוזת קבר מאת בני חת.
This is the way, this is why we have, now it worked out. By virtue of the fact that you're willing to take so much money, even though you didn't use the word achuzah, Marat HaMachpelah from here on in becomes a Jewish estate. It's not just a place where you bury your wife. It is the Jewish estate. It's la'achuzat kever me'et b'nei chet. So you have a very fascinating thing. There was an argument between b'nei chet and Abraham Avinu. How far do you take this piece of land? And that's why to this day, we can go to Kiryat Arba, and go to Hebron, because it was in that area, the argument was, is it just a kever, or is it achuzah? And by virtue of the fact that he took 400 shekel, that made it, even though he didn't use the word, la'achuzat kever. And I want to show you one thing, fascinating thing. This goes back, let's go back to Pasuk Chet. Ufiguli be'Efron ben Sohar. Everybody has it? Yes? Spell Ephron. Who wants to spell Ephron?
Ayin Pei Reish Vav Nun.
Good. All right. Next, go on. Pasuk Yud.
The same.
Spell it.
The same way Ayin Pei Reish
Ayin
Vav Nun.
Vav Nun. And then Vayan Ephron. Spell it.
Ayin Reish Vav Nun.
Vav Nun. Okay, it's very clear. Okay. Yud Gimel.
The same. Ayin Pei Reish.
Ayin Reish. Okay. Yud Daled.
Without the Vav.
No, Yud Daled.
Oh, no. Ayin. Same.
Ayin Pei Reish Vav Nun. Okay. Vayishma Avraham el Ephron Tet Vav. Ayin Pei Reish Vav Nun. Vayishkol Avraham le'Ephron. Spell it.
Ayin Pei Reish Nun.
Vav chaser. What
The
happened?
Vav. But it comes back the next pasuk too.
That comes back again. But the moment he gives him the 400 shekel, look at it. But Abba me'ot shekel kesef lasocher, his name becomes Ephron without a vav. Watch this. This will blow your mind. Absolutely, it blew my mind. Ayin. How much is ayin? 70. Yes. 70. Pay. How much is pay? 80. 70 and 80 is how much?
150.
150. Reish is 200. How much together?
350.
350. Everybody's with me, yes? Noon? 50? Together?
400.
400. You are really Ephron 400. The real name, all this time is new, but once you actually took that 400, you are Ephron. You are Mr. 400.
Interesting.
It's amazing. You see in the Torah, there are these subliminal things there. You would never have seen it. The Baltun points it out, sure. Your personality, your name is no longer Ephron that you think you say, oh, take it. It's for nothing. You are really Mr. 400. So as soon as he takes it 400, his name is Ayin Pei Reish Nun. Later on, again, he goes to the store to buy tomatoes. He's Mr. Ephron with a vav. But
Mhm.
right now, I know who you really are. So we have a whole thing here. We have a discussion between Avraham Avinu, who wants achuzat kever, and now you understand why he eventually gets buried there, and Yaakov and Yitzchak and Rivka and Leah, and I mean everybody has it. And when we go sometimes there and to Ma'at Machpelah, because Avraham Avinu wanted it as achuzah, he didn't just want to have a place to bury a person. He wanted it to be the essence of what he is. And in this discussion comes Ephron back and forthing. And the moment he becomes Ephron Vav, he takes the $400, or not the 400, whatever, and he is Achuzat Kever.
Hmm. Interesting.
Cool
Mhm.
idea.
You, Saba.
Anybody
It
want
was
to say anything?
very.
Well,
So have it.
Saba, can I ask something?
Sure, man.
I always thought it was interesting. I was asking this on Shabbos, how we claim that Me'arat HaMachpelah is ours because it was bought, but we also claim that all of Israel is ours. Like, what's the difference? Like, it's an
Very
interesting.
good point. It's a very good point. Yeah, actually, you're raising an interesting question. There in Tanakh, there are only 3 places where we actually purchase the land. Anybody know what they are?
Well, Me'arat
Obviously,
HaMachpelah.
Machpelah, he paid. The other one
Chevra.
is Shem. Shem, and Yaakov paid Mea Kisita.
Mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And for Yerushalayim, David HaMelech paid Goran Arnon his money too. There are
Mhm.
only 3 cities in Yerushalayim, in the world, in Israel, that we actually can say we paid for that.
Mhm.
So, Shani, what you're saying is there's something about these 3 cities that's somehow different. Everywhere else, we might have conquered it, whatever it was given us by God, but these we actually purchased. Historically, which are the biggest problems between the Palestinians and Israel?
Yerushalayim.
Yerushalayim, Shechem, and Hebron. It's the most amazing story.
Mhm.
But those areas where we purchase it, that somehow it becomes a historical thing. I mean, you don't have a big thing about Jericho. You don't have a big thing, but it's an interesting thing. So
Mhm.
somehow purchasing, you would think is more. What's the word? It has more of a chizuk, but it seems to be the bigger problem. And nobody argues over Tel Aviv. I mean,
Mhm.
you never. So it's an interesting question. Does that sort of semi-answer your question, Shad?
Yeah, it's
A
interesting.
little
Yeah.
bit. It's fascinating to ask that 3 places, 3 cities where it's documented that we purchased, and those are the ones with biggest controversy in modern history. Yeah. Okay. But
Interesting.
anybody else want to say anything?